Hey, what's new? Not much. That's right, this is not my CB500X, this is the brand new 2022 model. I'm just taking it for a spin. And that's basically all there is to it. There's not much. It's a very good bike, just as mine. I was actually hoping I wouldn't regret my purchase because as soon as I bought it, they announced this new one. But truth be told, it's pretty much the same. Nothing is worse, which is what you'd expect. And then there's a few things that are supposed to be better, but I gotta tell you, I don't feel anything. Nothing significant. So here's the deal. Basically, you now have two front disc brakes. I mean, braking does feel a little bit stiffer, but it's not that whole lot better. It's certainly not twice as much power, because you're always dependent on the grip you have on the ground with the rubber. And yeah, the braking feels a little bit better under hard braking, and I mean hard braking. But apart from that, it's not that big of a deal. Honestly, my Rebel could seriously use some better front brakes. I mean, they're just barely good enough. And the 500X that I have, last year's model, I should say this year's model, 2021, it brakes just as much as it needs, and it's much better than the Rebel. I mean, I know that people complained about it, and maybe you will feel something of a difference in brakes of the other models, the other 500s. I don't know, I don't feel much in here. I gotta say something though. The rear brake feels worse, and it's probably not worse, it's just that it's new. And I may be encountering the same issue with the front brakes. They're just new, therefore not as good as they will be in a few more kilometers down the road. Which I won't know, because I'm staying with mine. The other big difference is supposed to be the front forks suspension. Okay. Once again, not much of a difference. They feel stiffer as well. I feel that my hands vibrate more, which could be due to that. Not much of a difference. I mean, I honestly couldn't tell. I think I'm just biased because I know it's supposed to be different. And then the other biggest difference there is, apart from color schemes, is that, yeah, the indicators now stay on, just like on my Rebel and on my Monkey as well, but they stay on. The one that I have doesn't do that, which seems to be standard for Honda bikes now. And that's it. I mean, that's it. If you want to know anything about this bike, I could tell you just the same from the previous year's bike, which is really good. I mean, it's probably my favorite all-around capable bike I've ever had, and that I've ever tested, for that matter. I still prefer my Rebel for everyday use, and as you may know, my 500X is not actually mine. It belongs to Mrs. Bugzapper. It's her daily, but you know, I use it as well. And the Rebel is just more fun. But I have to admit, the 500X is just more capable and it outperforms the Rebel in every sense. So yeah, not much more to say about this brand new bike. I'm happy that I can test it. I'm happy that I don't regret buying the other one so late in its life, and now I could be missing out on some changes, but fortunately that's not the case. And I don't mean in any way to deter you from getting one of these, because these are excellent bikes. Honestly, if Honda changed too much about them, they could end up breaking it. This is close to cheap all-around capability perfection. I gotta say, I actually do feel a lot of difference between this one and the one that I have, but it's not because this is so different. It's because mine is modded in a few cheap and very easy things that make a whole world of difference. The windscreen is raised on mine to the highest position, which makes a lot of difference for me, at least, because I'm taller. And we got some hand guards, which actually make a lot of difference with the winter wind. Almost as good or maybe even better than heated grips. We have the Black Widow muffler, which of course gives it a lot of character, and it's not too loud because it's just a muffler. It sounds just about right. And that's it. We also have a top case in the back, of course, because I mean, this bike actually feels incomplete without a top case, in my opinion. But I know that's controversial. That's like pineapple on pizza. And that's it. But those little things really make it stand out. They really make the other one more comfortable. And of course it's lowered for Mrs. Bugzapper's height, but even though you can feel more ground clearance on a non-lowered bike, it's not that big of a deal. Actually, I like it lowered because I can also plant my feet better on the ground when it stops. I just like it. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't have a Rebel for myself. And that's it. No news is good news in this case. I don't need to change bikes. Yeah, just one other gripe. 2018, I think, Honda released this bike with a very, very, very cool dark cherry red color. It was even darker than the monkey that I used to have. Man, that thing was beautiful. And then later years they stuck with that brighter red that they have sometimes, almost brushing against Ferrari red, which I don't appreciate at all. And you know, we got the 500X from last year that is black with red accents. It could use a few more red accents, otherwise it's just elegant. It's really pretty. But this year, once again, they have a boring black one like this. Nothing against black bikes, and honestly I really like this transition from matte to shiny here, or what they call pearl. Yeah, it's nice, but it's boring. I mean, it doesn't stand out. It's too subtle. Even a Fireblade fully black can become too subtle. And then they have the red one, which is once again an ugly red in my opinion, just like the Rebel had a red version that looked like the head of a match, you know, the part that actually burns off in the beginning. And now they have a green, like a military green one. And I saw those pictures and I thought, man, that looks cool. I don't know if I'd go for it, but it looks cool. They've had something like that similar in previous years, which is some kind of grayish green with yellow accents. And it was cool. Not my taste, but I really liked it. But I just saw that green one in person, and it's pearl green, it's not matte. I mean, I wouldn't go for it. Nah, I really wouldn't go for it. Make it matte, and you could change my mind.